Hello mga learners! Welcome back! Today, we will learn about composting. Before we go to the how of composting, it is important for you to understand what composting is. This will help you to better appreciate the benefits that you can get from it. After this lesson, you should be able to understand our garbage problem and how composting can help solve it. Differentiate organic from inorganic materials. Explain what composting is and explain how composts are made. Imagine that you are about to dispose of a bag of trash. Now, imagine that all the people in your neighborhood are about to do the same thing. What would be the result? Are you starting to realize now that just how much garbage is produced in one place every day? Our garbage problem. To solve our growing garbage problem, we must find alternative ways to dispose of our garbage, or we must find ways to avoid disposing of anything at all. The major cause of our garbage problem is the continuous increase in population. An increase in population means an increase in people's activities. This increase in people's activities unfortunately leads to the production of large amount of waste. Simply put, the more people there are, the more waste are produced. Normally, the garbage produced in our homes is collected, then brought to open dump sites. However, open dump sites can cause contamination of groundwater. Landfills can leak toxic materials into lakes and streams. In addition, existing open dump sites will be filled in a few years, and if the only alternative is to open a new one, each time one is filled, we may soon end up living in dump sites. I'm quite sure you do not want one near your area. This is why it is important for you and for everyone to participate in solving our garbage problem. Because of this situation, many people have tried to find ways to solve the garbage problem. The solutions that they have proposed are long-term and more effective since they not only solve the garbage problem, but provide other benefits as well. However, for these solutions to succeed, some effort on your part is needed. One of these solutions is recycling. Have you ever seen this symbol? Recycling involves using materials over and over again. This is why the symbol illustrates a cyclical process. Recycling also involves processing used materials in order to make them fit again for human use. The goal is to make sure that no material is permanently disposed of. One method of recycling is composting. Materials can be classified into two: organic and inorganic. Only organic materials can be used in composting. Organic materials are those which were once living things. Examples of organic materials are leaves and wood. Inorganic materials, on the other hand, are those which come from non-living things like minerals. Examples of inorganic materials are those made of plastic, metal, and rocks. Organic materials are biodegradable, which means they can completely decompose. Just look at what happens when you burn a piece of paper. The paper will turn into ashes, right? On the other hand, inorganic materials are non-biodegradable and therefore will never completely decompose. If you burn a piece of metal, the most that could happen to it is to get bent because of the heat, but it will never completely disappear. What is composting? What do you think happens to the leaves that fall in forests? Who do you think cleans them up? No one sweeps away the leaves that fall in forests. They disappear over time because they decay or decompose. The process of decomposition that the leaves as well as other organic materials in forests go through is actually the same as composting. The only difference is that the conditions in forests are not controlled. They occur at their own pace. What we are going to study here is controlled composting. You will, therefore, control the pace of the process. But you must remember that you can only use organic materials for composting. Composting is a process of decomposing plant remains and other organic materials. The result, a substance excellent for fertilizing or enriching soil, is called compost. Compost eventually turns into humus, the organic portion of soil. How composts are made? As we said earlier, composting is a method used to speed up the natural decomposition of organic materials under controlled conditions. Let's say you have leftover food, leaves, some soil, and old newspapers that you dumped in a hole in your backyard. After a few weeks, the bacteria in the hole will increase rapidly. Worms will crawl on the trash that you dispose of, and decomposition will occur. As the bacteria and worms decompose the organic materials, their body heat will cause the temperature of the pile to rise dramatically. The heat of the pile will kill some of the weed seeds and disease organisms, causing further decomposition. After the trash has completely decomposed, it turns into humus. You can contribute to the composting revolution by composting your own kitchen waste in your backyard. In the next lesson, we will discuss what you will need to start composting. Let's remember, the major cause of our garbage problem is the continuous increase in population. As population increases, so do people's activities. This increase leads to the production of larger amounts of waste. Recycling has been recognized as a solution to the garbage problem. Composting is one form of recycling. Composting is the process of controlling the decomposition of organic materials. Organic materials are those that were once living organisms, like plant and animal remains. They are biodegradable. Inorganic materials are those that came from non-living things. They are non-biodegradable. The end product of composting is humus. That's the end of our lesson on what composting is. See you on the next lesson.